Yo, 15 minutes of fame. Uncle Rod, Jakkboy, Maine. I'm gonna go right into it, man. Again, I've had a couple of conversations with people about the Champion blog.
Hmm.
Um, and I talked to your very close friend, J400 Block. We could probably talk about that later on too, if you want to. And I talked to Norbs about the whole
Uh,
do your job is pretty much the topic of the whole blog that they put out. They made a lot of good valid points, and then a lot of people are saying they didn't make a lot of valid points, especially guys like you guys, like your class of guys. So talk to me. Have you seen the blog?
yeah, I actually just watched it this morning, and I mean, it's some things that they said that I feel like apply to some of the new guys, but then there's some things that they were saying that they were speaking so generally instead of actually picking out a lot of the individuals in my opinion, to where it left it open to where it's like to some people that shit don't make sense. Like if we go on the promotion side of things, one thing can't nobody say is like I'm one of the top promoters of my class, if not the top guy, when it comes to promoting the battles and what I got going on and stuff like that. And then the other thing is like when Jay Black and Tech was talking about being a breath of fresh air and not being like the older guys. I kind of feel like that fall on them, and that's kind of their fault, to be honest, because they're not challenging the new guys to not do the same things that the old guys have been doing. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, it's like everybody's doing generic name flip after name flip. I'm gonna use an angle that somebody else used. There's no real creativity. But then when you have guys that have real creativity, they get criticized for not being understood. That shit don't make sense to me. Instead of taking the time to go and understand what it is that they're doing and get up on game on what they're bringing new to the game, you just say that they're not the same. But then you get guys that I've literally heard them say, for instance, when they speak on Jerry West, oh, he's so cookie cutter. Like, that's not good. Like, that means he's just like everything else that you've been seeing. But you like the cookie cutter at one moment, but then the next moment you need a breath of fresh air. Like, you have to be consistent on what it is that you like or
Well,
what you want to see.
to their credit, as far as them being consistent on what they say, what about are you guys being consistent in what you do?
I mean, the what I was always taught, like for real, all I could really do is mostly speak on myself because that's who I control. And I know with me, I've been consistent as far as my material. Now, whether somebody likes it, thinks I win or lose, that's on them because everybody has different opinions. But as far as the creativity and the originality of what I do, I've been consistent with mine. All I hear 24/7, even from them, whether they feel like I lost one or whatever the case is, I don't sound like nobody else. So I would consider that being a breath of fresh air.
Facts.
The only thing it's kind of like now we talk about breath of fresh air. It's kind of like the Avatar movie with the blue people. You know, the humans had to wear the face masks when they went out there in the field with the avatars because they couldn't breathe in that air. It's more so like, is this air that Jay Black and Tech Nine can actually breathe in to keep going with that analogy, if it makes sense, to the point of where it's like what I'm doing is so different. Of course, I'm the bad guy, so this fresh air might be toxic air. I don't know, but it's like you got to understand it for what it is, and though it may be toxic to you at the moment, it may just be something that you don't understand and you don't got the technology and haven't done the proper research to understand. Because all they tell me is your references. But yet, in the Do Your Job blog, it's a lot of the new guys is basically the same as the old guys, which is the same references and material. All right, your name's Hitman, so I'm gonna make name flips using the movie Hitman. We're gonna talk about the same shit that everybody's talked about in your battles with that you used to play basketball. It's like there's nothing new. Sue Surf, we're gonna talk about the little girl incident. You know what I'm saying? John, we're gonna talk about stealing. Uh, Nobody's saying anything new. Even to the older guys, if you want to be real, that's still the vets that's still battling aren't saying anything new. When they rap, they're using the same angles that's been used in the past.
Now, again, I still try. Again, I think one of the things in the blog, they weren't specific. Maybe they're not talking about you, in particular. You know what I mean? Maybe they're not talking about, Ryder or, whoever else. So we don't know because they never really said a name. So
Or that's the issue.
that's the issue.
Yeah, that's the issue because when you just say the new guys as a whole, see what they gotta understand is like the fans are so fickle, but so attached to a lot of what the media puts out, especially depending on who you are, especially a guy like Jay Black, who's like the number one media guy in a lot of these people's eyes. He's one of those guys to where it's almost like what he say damn near goes. So a lot of these fans, the fact that you're not specific, take straight to the fact of, oh, Jay Black said the new guys aren't this and the new guys aren't that, so I guess that's what it is. And then when you have a fan that's what we call a casual fan, who probably doesn't listen to all the media and probably really doesn't watch all the battles except for the key battles and the major battles or the highly promoted battles, when they hear this, at this point, some of them still probably aren't too familiar with a Jakkboy Maine. So all they hear is, all right, Jack's a new guy, and they're saying that the new guys all still sound like the old guys. So their mind automatically takes that information and processes it as being true to everybody because they're not specific.
Do you consider yourself a new guy? Are you still the new guy? Or are they maybe talking about the guys that's coming after you guys?
Now, I still consider myself a newer guy.
Newer, okay.
Yeah, like not necessarily new, but I'm not old either. So kind of fall like in the middle. Like I only been on Smack for what, 2.5 years now. So I got 6 battles. So I'm still really
What was your
newer.
first battle on Smack?
Drugs.
Okay. All right. So here's I think it's $1 million question, and I think I've heard it asked before. If the vets were to just totally step down, do y'all think y'all could keep battle rap at the level that it's at right now? Do y'all think y'all can maintain its popularity and the attention that it has right now that it's generated? Do y'all think y'all can hold it down without the vets right now?
I mean, I think Survivor Series DMV, the one that just happened in Richmond, says that we could. We sold that out. Pay-per-view did good. The
Well,
only thing now is to see how the YouTube numbers do when it drop. But outside of that, the ticket sales and stuff, that went great. I talked to the URL staff the night of. They loved it so much that they coming back. So that obviously was a success.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate on that. Okay.
Right.
Is it a possibility that that event was successful as it was because it was in the DMV? Most of you guys are DMV guys, and that area doesn't get a chance to go to a URL event because 99% of the time, all the events have been held up here, up northeast in New York, or well, in New York, period. So, do you think that that had an effect on how many people showed up to that event because it was new to them in that area and they don't get to go to a Smack event?
I mean, of course it did. Of
I
course
don't
it
want to take a
did.
credit away from the card.
No,
It
no,
was a great card and a great night.
that's
So,
to me, that's not taking credit away because it's a fact. Of course it did. It's only right. That's the same thing if Smack goes to when they went to Cali, when they go to Cali. if they was to go to Nebraska, you're gonna have people in Nebraska that don't get to make it to New York. That's gonna come out. That's just one of the underlying facts. That's just something that's in it. So I can't say that I'd be a fool to sit here and be like, nah, of course that played a part in it. But I don't think that's all. I don't think that's the only thing that played a part. And I don't think that was one of the major parts because at the same time, we had a lot of people from the New York, New Jersey, the up north areas that came down, whether it was artists, fans, media, all of that.
I was there, so I came down for it because it was a great card. So I was definitely now. Here's the other question: do you think the new guys could actually hold down an event in Urban Plaza?
Yeah,
You
I think
think
so.
with no vets, zero vets on the card, that it's a possibility that you guys can do the same numbers in an Urban Plaza as they've been doing with the vets that they've been using in Urban
I'm not
Plaza?
I'm not gonna sit here and jump out the window and say the complete same numbers, but I think we would do very well.
If they gave you guys an opportunity to do an Urban Plaza card, what new guys and young guys would you actually think would make that event successful?
Um, of course, the bro twerk. Um, glue is very popular. Everybody's high on Rider right now. Um, I feel like myself, because one thing that I've learned in this game is even when the people hate you, they still love to see you, whether it's to win or to lose.
Like I told you, it's all superhero movies need a villain. They all need a bad
Mhm.
guy. So
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Oh yeah, put out there. I just started in my first movie role. Um, just so the people know, I played a very good villain in the Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all was able to tell that was me. You know what I'm saying? I was Killmonger and shit. I don't know if people know that. You know what I'm saying? You can see the beard and the dread. You know, they use Jack as the prototype for Michael B. Jordan. I need to go and sue and get my money and whatnot. But yeah, that was all me. You know what I'm saying? I play a great villain. You know,
great. Now, yo, actually, if you put your dreads up on top of your head, you might
with
actually can get away
with
with it.
with the few hanging down in the front. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Now,
You
listen.
know what
I
I'm saying?
asked you that question: who would be on that card in Urban Plaza? And all you named was the Goonies.
Oh,
You
my
about to get
bad.
into
I
your
won't.
Killmonger
Now
role?
it's just us. Like hell, even somebody like you know what I'm saying. There you go. Just to show y'all that was me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Just so they know. but
That's
but
funny.
even even somebody like Geeky, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Uh, everybody love him, you know what I'm saying? Free that man, you know what I mean? Got somebody like him. Um, let's see the newest guys. Um, hell, even Snake, you know what I'm saying? Like people like Snake as well. Um, hmm.
Holmesy,
Yeah,
Joe.
that's what I was about to say next. Um, goddamn, man, it's a few of us that you know what I'm saying. You put the cards together, people gonna come out and see, and we all got our respectable fan bases as well. So,
So now, as far as um, we discussed the whole imitation thing. I think even when I talked to Jay 400 Block, he was talking, explaining like in the early days there were only so many battle rappers, so it was like it was automatic that everybody was gonna have their own style. There was really nothing to copy from. You know what I mean?
hmm
And to everybody's credit, um, when you do something, even in music, like every record sounds like the next record now. Like we're in a generation where copying is acceptable. In my day, everybody literally sounded different. It was there's no way you could have copied somebody's style and got away with it in my era of rap. But in this era of rap, you got 500,000 guys that sound exactly the same. I don't know who's Quavo and Little Yachty. I can't tell them all apart. If I hear the record, I don't know who it is. And
Mm-hmm.
in battle rap, it seems to be that way also. There are a lot of people that sound like the next man. I'm sure there's a lot of people that sound like you on the come up right now. But in my day, it wasn't acceptable. It seems to be the thing now. Um, does that have any effect on it? Because you watch a guy so much, you watch a hitman holler all your life, and then you become a battle rapper, and then a lot of his shit rubs off on you.
I mean, well, for me, in the way that I approach things, I've always been big on creativity and originality. That's always been my thing. So for me, I actually view it as just the easy way out for people. Like it's the easiest way for you to be like, okay, I see what these people like, so I'm going to do exactly what they like, so I could be like, instead of trying something of your own and creating something of your own, to where you have to get the people to first come around to understand you, and then they take the liking to you because you brought in something new. So I just think it's the easy way out for a lot of these people. Like, like I don't know if people really notice, but like transitioning from rap to battle rap. Or matter of fact, I stay on rap for a second. Right now, everybody loves Drake. Don't get me wrong, Drake is a dope artist. But if you actually sit down and look at what it is he does on a lot of his songs, he uses a lot of melodies and flows of old. Now he puts his own words to it, but he uses a lot of the melodies and flows of old songs. Sometimes he even takes exactly a line or two from the old song and does it. I mean, hell, of course, New York hate me anyway, but shit, Jay-Z been doing it using Biggie's influence for the longest.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that everybody was coming at Jay-Z for at one point, because he called it paying homage, but it's like, dog, you using too many things that we know Biggie put out there first, and that's what you're doing, and that's what happens in rap, and it becomes okay. And now that's what's happening in battle rap, to where a lot of these people is just okay. So they love Hitman Holla because now he doesn't have bars, but he has a lot of energy. So I'm gonna have energy, and then they love Rum Nitty because he got bars. So let me have some energy and some bars, and just do what they're doing 100%. And it's like, no, come up with something new. Like, one thing I noticed about me is it's crazy because I call myself I'm the battle rapper's battle rapper, because a lot of the battle rappers understand what I do. It's more so a lot of the fans that don't, because I get a lot of praise. I done got praise from JC, Charlie Clips, all type of the battle rappers. It's more so a lot of the fans that don't understand what's going on, and that's because they don't study the game as hard as we do. They just watch it. And I think also it takes to it's a accountability of the rappers, the media, and the fans on why it's acceptable for people to just be like other people nowadays, because nobody's really calling it out.
So, I now as with the whole again new generation and everything coming out, what's your opinion on the new generation? Is the newer guys, even the guys coming after you, are they evolving? Is battle rap evolving? Or are there enough new guys that are different enough to like I say to keep the culture going? Like, is it evolving? Is there enough people evolving
Um,
and being creative? Like, are y'all the last of the Mohegans? Like, is that newer class coming after y'all? Like, do you see anybody under you that actually is gonna be able to keep this culture alive?
um, I feel like a lot of those people are still going through the PG process at the moment, so I don't really know. We still got to see if they make it out of that process right now. But it's crazy, but damn. Damn, the Goonies are the shit. Because the only thing I'll have to say is Mac Mill's different. Mac Mill don't do what a lot of other people do. You know what I'm saying? Besides having high performance and energy, his content isn't one of other people. You know, like so it's like, but a lot of these guys they do rap exactly the same, and that's always been my thing. Like every time I battle, it's funny because every battle I've had, I call out exactly how someone's gonna come and rap at me. Like for instance, I knew West was gonna do nothing but jack flips. The only thing that surprised me was I didn't expect as many jack phone flips. That's the shit that surprised me. Cause I was like, God damn, you a button mashing the hell out of these phone flips, dog. Like, pick another jack topic. But other than that, it's like I know every time what somebody's gonna do. Same thing when I battled Cannon. I knew he was gonna have a lot of jack flips. And my thing is just like there's no creativity. To me it's like I guess for me, because it's like I do the writing, so I understand that looking at someone's name and then thinking how many ways to do something with their name, that's one of the easiest things to do.
Right,
But it's
right.
hard to come up with something out of thin air that you really gotta come up with the whole process, the melody, the cadence, the setup, and the punchline. You know
Well,
what I'm
it's even
saying?
like I was in Chicago and Kayshawn versus Young Cannon. You know, no disrespect to Young Cannon, but he was still talking about the Pharaoh and Kayshawn thing, where as though it was, alleged about the disease or whatever. People are still talking about JC dancing. You know what I mean? I mean, T Top did do a great flip on it. I love the way he actually came at it and brought the dude out, pop locking to every word he was saying. You know, he did get real creative with it, but it's still old news and it's not new.
It's the
So,
same
yeah.
thing over and over and over and over and over again.
And
And that's been my thing from the beginning. Like that's something that I never wanted to do. Like even now, like when I hear it's crazy because that's why the whole champion do your job thing kind of rubbed me the wrong way because it's like you want a breath of fresh air, but you give credit and praise to those that continue to do the same thing. Like, even
give me an
like man,
example.
like I like let's see, like for instance, like I mean, the easiest things for me to go back to is my situations because that's what I pay the most attention to. But like the Jerry West battle when they did the review, I thought it was funny that they got him winning, but at the same time they say he's cookie cutter, which means when you're cookie cutter, that means that basically you're using a cutout of something that's already been made. You're
But
just taking a little stamp, pushing it down on the dough, and making multiple versions of this Christmas tree or whatever it may be that's already been done before.
carbon
So
copy.
yeah, and it's like what? And the only thing that you can say to combat that to make it seem like it's cool is, oh, we don't understand what Jack's saying, and it's like, well, then broaden your horizon, open your mind. That, that's the most that I can say. It's like broaden your horizon and open your mind. As my grandfather used to tell me, you become a smart man from researching and reading. Go read, pick up a book.
B dot B
Nowadays, you
dot is a
gotta
perfect
pick up a
example
book.
of that. Like that B dot versus Loso, truth is, man, he said a lot of stuff, man. I didn't have no clue about what he was talking about, but you're right. You know, broaden your horizons. It's like everybody's level of intelligence is different. So
Hmm.
some people know this and some people don't know that. So right, broaden your horizons is it's a good way to put it.
Yeah, like it was. What's even crazy is like I watched the B Dot and Loso battle. I got B Dot clearly winning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I got B Dot clearly winning 3-0, honestly, because it's like I research and study the things that B Dot talks about. So with that being said, a lot of the things he was saying, I comprehend with, and the things that Loso was saying, I already know. Like as far as the whole Christianity things and shit like that, like I already know what you talk about. That information has been passed down generation to generation, going all the way back to slavery when it was forced upon us.
That's it.
Like,
That's a deep point. Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty deep. Okay. Go
you know what
ahead.
I'm saying?
Finish. I'm sorry.
This is stuff. A lot of people think I'm just a ratchet, wild young guy, but I'm a smart, intellectual young man. Like I study these type of things, and because I want to know where I come from one day. You know what I'm saying? So as far as real life goes, so I study the things that B Dot talk about. I'm not gonna say I 100% believe in them, but I study them to broaden my horizon and understand what's going on around me. And by doing so, I just look at the fact that he was saying a lot of things in there that was new, that was fresh, that I could take in for the first time that I ain't heard nobody else say. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And to me, those type of things is what stick out, rather than I've been hearing Loso rap about Christianity for what, the last year and a half, 2 years now, and you say the same things. You know what I'm saying? I can predict goddamn the name flips you gonna use because they're predictable. You're gonna flip the letter B. You're gonna flip dot. Like that's it's predictable. Like here's my thing when it comes to the originality thing and the carbon copy thing. A lot of these guys who's on URL are doing name flips and angles that guys that aren't on URL battling the same person will take. For instance, like when you said the YK versus K Shot, a lot of these guys who are trying to make it to the URL or King of the Dot, one of these bigger stages, are going to take the same angle of talking to K Shot about Ancient Dean or Fair Funeral or stuff like that, because on the surface, that's all that they know about. They're not even behind the scenes to get any other type of information. All they know is that. So when it comes to wanting to take an angle, that's all they have. And then they're going to, of course, make a reference of how their AK shines when it shoots, regular ass shit. And these niggas that's supposed to be the elite of the elite are doing the same thing, and we're praising it. That's what I don't get. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it, I'm gonna go back because I know I know the fans, me, so they gonna try and kill me anyway. But like when I battled YK, it was the same fucking thing I've heard coming up before I got on URL. Now credit to him, he said a lot of things that the URL crowd didn't hear, so they took it for first time hearing it. But my thing was, and the reason I was reacting the way I was reacting on stage and even after the battle, it was like, dog, I've heard the Jack and Jills and the Jack-o'-lanterns and all of that shit for years. Because I've been on Smack for 2 years, but I've been doing this shit for 5. And I've come up through all of the smaller leagues that really don't get its recognition for helping brand and shape talent on its way to the URL. And I've heard all of that, from my very first battle to my last battle before doing my first battle on URL. I've heard all of those name flips. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
now,
what about us guys that didn't see your earlier battles and never heard those name flips?
And that's where I have to give credit to YK at, because he was he used those type of name flips in a situation for people like that. Okay. It worked for the people like that. That's where I gotta give him credit at, because in a sense that was a smart move. But for me per se, and especially a lot of people in my city, we already heard all of that shit. So it doesn't ring out to us like it do everybody else. And that just comes from a different, be it in a different lane, a different upbringing and whatnot through the battle rap culture. You know what I'm saying? But basically to make the point is the same thing. A lot of people are saying the same shit. There's nothing really new. And I expect more of the guys on this level. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm one of them guys that as time goes on, and I say this because I've been noticing it with the YK battle. As time goes on, my material and my rounds become more respected than just what they look at it for in that moment. Because nowadays, almost every day, I get online and there's someone saying, "Yo, I watched YK and Jack again," even if they still got YK winning. Yo, Jack clearly didn't get bodied. This, that, and the third. This is a dope battle. Or, yo, I think Jack won this. I think people were tripping. It's changing every day. That whole getting body thing is out the door. You know what I'm saying? Like it's from what I'm seeing, it's out the door. It's to the point now where people fully understand or starting to understand what it is that I'm doing when I'm making my material. And to be honest, I feel like the longer I'm around, the more people gonna fully understand it. Like right now, I think the only person that came with a different style, other than the cookie cutter style, was Twerk, and people picked up to it. I think he's really one of the only people right now that came with something totally new that nobody
Extremely
seen.
new. Yeah. Yeah. Extremely new.
I
And
think he's one of the only ones, and
now
for him, it picked up ASAP.
now we talk about twerk. The last thing I want to ask you is because this, I mean, we're actually talking about the topic itself as far as people using the same name flips and that somebody else already used or similar or whatever the case may be. And now we have like Calico, I think Hitman. They're talking about like twerk reusing the bars. Like somebody posted up a clip, of course, and they showed the comparison. Now, me, I've always been that guy that knows that in battle rap's been around for 150,000 years. It's like, how many things can you say that there's a possibility somebody else didn't already say without you knowing? So again, when you talk about name flips of somebody, they did name flips on you 5 years ago, and then somebody does those same name flips today, but they never saw that battle. So is it always just a coincidence? Because, and again, Twerk's my guy, but the clip, the video that they put up, man, it was like, yo, the bars were so fucking close. You know what I mean? In a comparison, that it was like, damn. Can two people come up with the same scheme or same setups and all that stuff and not be exactly the same?
Yeah. Oh
Did you
yeah.
see that
That happened.
video of that they put up?
Um, if was it recent?
Yeah, I think they just put it up yesterday.
Yeah. If it went up yesterday, I didn't see it.
Okay.
I told you off of the interview what I was going through in real life. So no, I didn't see that one, but I did see the one when uh Angry Fan and Piper Boy and all of them was doing it. Like I think about a month or two back now.
Right, right, right. I remember there was
Um,
another one. Right.
yeah, I seen them ones, and for me, it's like what I understand is I be around bro, and I've been around him coming up in his creative. I can't even say writing process because the nigga don't write. Uh, Everything is done in his head, and I know for a fact he don't sit around and watch battles to come up with his material. So it be coincidences, and there's been a case to where every battle rapper, if they be honest, they go through this to where you come up with something, you spit it for somebody, and then someone will tell you like, "Yo, I think somebody might have said that, or this might have been close." You know what I'm saying? But bro is one of the people he don't spar with everybody in the world, and
That's
I'm
why
not
he
one of
did
them
bad
guys.
on the bar exam too. Because he don't watch the shit enough, I guess.
Like, yeah, and it's like I'm also one of them guys to where at one point I was, but now I'm like I don't watch this shit every fucking day. I'm not watching all the battles that drop on any channel. You know what I'm saying? I'm not watching everything, especially with the fact that for a lot of this shit now I'm in the building for it when it goes down. Speaking on the bigger platforms, so I'm not rushing to watch it when it drops because I've already seen it, broke it down, analyzed it, stuff like that. So I know for a fact, bro, not sitting around listening to somebody else and trying to copy their shit. Like I know that for a fact. Like that ain't even because we're goonies or nothing like that. That comes from me being around him and knowing what it is that he does.
I think I have to agree with it too because like he's so creative to begin with. The shit that he says, man, is like again, he's one of those guys that sometimes you don't get that shit till later. So he is very creative with what he does. So, but I guess what happens is when they show so many, you know what I mean? It's like then it starts making people think that way. But again, at the end of the day, man, like it's very easy for somebody to say something somebody already said because
Yeah,
so much stuff has been said.
like,
You don't watch
like
every
for
battle.
me, like for me, I could go back even today. I could make I could make a 5 minute to 15-minute video of all the things most of my opponents have said to me with using these jack flips that I've heard. But at the same time, for me, it'd be like, what's the point? what's the point? It really doesn't serve a huge purpose. For the simple fact that the integrity of the sport is on the line when you do that too. Like that's what a lot of people don't understand. The more we sit here and try and discredit one person for what they're doing, we actually show flaws in the sport. Like instead of trying to correct them. So it's like that's why I didn't do it. Like I could have did the shit with YK immediately, but it was like it's no point. You know what I'm saying? I could do the same shit with Jerry West, but to me, I don't see a point in it. And especially with me understanding how I view, instead of just being so. A lot of people think I'm super cocky and pay attention to nothing, but actually pay attention to a lot, and I'm very in tune with how I view. It don't really serve a purpose. You still gonna like this person. A lot of people gonna come up with a reason for why or an excuse for why it went down the way it went down, or they gonna say I'm hating or something like that. So it don't make no point. It's kind of like I view it as the media isn't putting the pressure on the artist enough to where when they see it, they call it out consistently. We wait until somebody gets a rise in their popularity to do it, to try and bring them down. Well, we not doing it to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's the case, we would have got on T-Top for that Asian Dean shit. Like that ain't been said before. You know what I'm saying? We would have got on K-Shine when he battled Hitman about talking about basketball. Like Surf didn't already beat that angle into the ground with his third round against Hitman. You know what I'm saying? We not gonna talk about when people battle Conceited, talk about that he's not from New York, but he claims New York or whatever the case may be. That's just been beat into the ground. But when these people do it, we still accept it. So we're not doing it on a consistent basis enough. So the point to where it's like, what's the point?
Point well taken, brother.
15 minutes of fame. Let's go.